guys, it's me, PJ and today, okay, I'm a bit sick. Actually, I'm not just having the hiccups. I don't care though. I still have to make video. But today, I'm reacting to my story anime, The Perfect Family. Quote, the quote perfect family quote by Horrible Life.
You know that perfect family everyone in town is jealous of, don't you? Of course you do. There is one in every neighborhood. Their house has these family pictures showing how beautiful, how well balanced, how happy they are, smiling straight to the camera, dressed to the nines. Well, that's my family. My perfect, stunningly gorgeous, amazingly wealthy, reputation-obsessed family. My dad owns several companies worth billions of dollars each. He's been in the top 50 lists in Forbes for years and years. And my mom is a former beauty queen who has been assigned as a director of one of my father's massive companies. You might think that she just sits there and pretends to look busy while others do the real work. But you'd be wrong. She is brilliant and super strict as well, both with her employees and at home. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and activate the notification bell. This will let you live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. Except for when it comes to my older brother, that is. Tobias was their miracle baby. Why? Apparently, mom and dad tried to get pregnant for years, and nothing happened. After attempting in vitro insemination and other medical techniques, they completely gave up. The very next month, mom realized she was pregnant. She called it an absolute miracle, even if the doctors claim it's usual, due to the anxiety levels finally being lowered once the pressure is no longer there. So you better believe that Tobias was a spoiled brat. With him, my mom wasn't strict or demanding at all. Everything he did was great, no matter how much he messed up. He was a little brat, if you ask me. Whenever a teacher had something bad to say about Tobias, mom would huff and reply, "I think you might be thinking about another kid, because my Tobias would never do anything like that." And if there was a witness to support the accusation, she would brush it off, adding, "They have it in for my little boy. You know our family is wealthy. They're just jealous. Pay them no attention. I assure you Toby is perfectly innocent. Oh, and wasn't the school requesting funds for an extension of the library? I could write a check right now, you know." Yeah, she'd write a check every single time Tobias got himself in trouble, just to...
Is that legal? Is that legal? I don't think that's legal. I don't know whether that's legal. But like, Scott, look at this guy. Okay.
to bail him out. It was that simple and that messed up. 3 years after their miracle baby was born, I arrived in their home, their only daughter. That was nice, sure, but I was a girl, and they really wanted another boy. Mom thought raising boys was easier. Girls were more emotional and demanding. Now, I'm not going to say my parents hated me or anything of the sort. They were sort of loving in their twisted way. I wasn't denied a thing. I could ask for anything I wanted, but never, ever have money. They thought I would waste it all in an instant, so if I ever wanted something, I had to talk to my mom, and she'd have a personal shopper get it for me. I didn't even have lunch money since the school I went to would request payment at the beginning of every month.
That's sad.
I think I was allowed to carry some money, and I'm only talking about a few bucks. Maybe twice in my entire life? No credit cards, of course, though Tobias has 3.
He was a kid and he had credit cards? What the was this? What the frick was this? Are you kidding me? He had 3 credit cards.
He was the miracle baby, you see. He deserved it, even if he was
Look
a little...
at this.
bitch. To say Tobias was spoiled would be an incredible understatement. No, Tobias was far more than that. He was entitled and cruel and believed everyone underneath his station was garbage. To him, even if I was his sister, I was lower than him. Worse still, my parents seemed to agree. You see, my mom was almost supernaturally beautiful. I told you how she used to be a beauty queen? Well, she won lots and lots of pageants, and all of her trophies were on display in one of our mansion's living rooms. She would have the maids clean and polish them daily. "Come here, Vera." She would call me to her side while we stared proudly at the awards. "See these? You could win a few as well. Not as many, though, because, well, it was then that she gave me this judgmental look and sigh heavily. as if I was a burden. Well, you know. But if you wore makeup every morning and went to the hairdresser every week, there would be a pretty young lady there. Don't you think I'm pretty, Mom? I asked once, feeling too hurt to remain quiet at that time. You have the potential to be pretty, honey, she replied dismissively. I'll sign you on for some makeup classes. That will do you so much good. I was heartbroken, believe me. And it wasn't the first nor last time she said something like that to me. What's more, they forced me to take the makeup class and practice every day. Dad would look at me when I walked down the stairs and sighed, shrugging. I guess that's the best you are going to look today? Well, it's better than before. Yeah, that's a big load of BS right there. But what could I do about it? I did try to explain how much it hurt me when they talked that way, but they turned the tables on me as they always did. We are your parents, honey. We are only doing what's best for you, Dad would reply, and sometimes even hug me. Hugs and kisses were super weird in my house. They came once every blue moon. And then there was Tobias.
Wow.
Good Lord, Tobias was a nightmare. In my parents' eyes, he could do no wrong. They never even believed he could be lying. So if Tobias said something, it was immediately considered the truth. I think this turned my brother into a complete psychopath. Or maybe he was just born that way and my parents unwittingly pushed him even further into madness. He would go around the mansion destroying random stuff just because. Then he would blame it on a maid, who was promptly fired, or on me, and I got scolded. I never knew what fresh hell Tobias had planned for all those who worked for my parents and for me. And heavens forbid I ask a friend to stay over. He would stalk her mercilessly until she freaked out and left or confronted him and was told to leave. I decided it was not worth
Wait, what the frick? Are you kidding me? He's a stalker.
the effort. So I just went to my friends' homes if I wanted to hang out with them. It's incredible how normal those other houses seemed, even if they were so much smaller than my family's massive mansions. Mom would still pretend she was a beauty queen sometimes. Oh boy, that was insane. She dressed up in one of her tight contest dresses, which she still fit in, which was, in fact, kind of admirable. Then she'd put on a crown and walk elegantly around the house, waving and smiling like a Barbie doll. I had to clap at her when she walked by, or she'd get terribly grumpy after her little game was over. And my dad? Oh, that man. He seemed to think I was not only ugly without proper makeup, but too dumb to handle finances at all. He had to approve every single purchase I made, and refused to give me just the smallest
What are these? What are these? Are these wrinkles?
allowance. I lived in luxury, yes, but my every purchase was analyzed, judged, and then delivered to me if deemed appropriate. I felt judged every step of the way, and it was eating away at my confidence. Though I lived in luxury, I would have rather spent my time in a tiny house without any incredible furniture and comforts, all to escape the chaos my family was. Because my mom and dad weren't just mean to me, they were mean to each other. Dad would tell Mom that once upon a time she was beautiful, but, well, let me tell you his exact words. Look at you now, Agatha. You are a washout. If you weren't smart and could help me with my company, I'd find a new model in a second. And my mom, with her usual snark, would immediately snap back. Oh, that's okay, dear. Because when you get too old to even go to work, I'll find myself a nice little toy boy and keep half of everything you own. Then they would laugh bitterly as if it was some sort of...
Tankers, listen up. We need to destroy that button.
I
Quick, before they press it.
joke, when we all knew they were deadly serious. At 17, I simply couldn't take it any longer. Yes, I knew in a year I'd be free, but I couldn't wait that long. So I did something incredibly foolish. I never had any money on me, as I explained, but knew where the family's emergency fund was kept at our mansion. So one night while my parents and insane brother slept, I slipped into the safe. Oh yes, it wasn't just a tiny one. It was a big walk-in safe, big enough to be a room. I snuck it all inside a traveling bag. Well, not all,
like
just the bills, because there were also jewels, gold ingots,
like
and other
room.
heavy stuff. I needed to travel light. I couldn't believe this is what my parents considered to be an emergency fund. What kind of emergency fund would require millions of dollars to be stuck inside the mansion in currencies, gold, and jewels? In the dead of the night, I escaped my home. I never wanted to go back. So I bought a one-way ticket to the furthest place from our town I could get that very night. It wouldn't be enough. But then I could take another bus and another until I was on the other side of the country and far from those insane folks. Now, my plan didn't work. It was never meant to work because I forgot an important factor. My dad's private security guards. They didn't just stand around the mansion's grounds as I have previously believed. They had many other tasks assigned to them. And apparently, Dad wanted me back at once. It took them less than half a day to find me and drag me back home. My dad was furious. For a moment, I thought he truly did care and he was just worried about me. But I had no such luck. Do you know what he said to me? This would have ruined our family's reputation having a runaway daughter. Imagine what the neighbors will say, you ungrateful brat. I couldn't believe it. He wasn't worried about me. And
what the frick? I'll just fix that later. But if I was her, I would just say this. No, you.
Even asked me why I had felt the need to escape their side.
No, you.
Instead, all he cared about was his reputation. Mom and Dad locked me up in my room without any TV or cell phones allowed. The maids brought dinner and then removed the tray. I was locked up in a very pretty cell. I was going mad out there. And when I looked out the balcony, I saw 2 guards waiting there. Apparently, I had my personal shadows now. When I was allowed back to school, these guys followed me constantly. They didn't walk inside the classroom, but they were still waiting just outside the door in the hallway. If my life was hellish before, now it was a living nightmare. I told myself that in 5 more months, it would all be over. The second I turned 18, I'd leave for good. So I waited, and waited, and waited. On my 18th birthday, Dad asked to talk to me. I met him in his massive study. He offered me a ridiculously massive amount of money if I stayed home for 1 more year, and to fully pay my tuition once I went off to college. If I promised to talk nicely about them to others, and come back home for dinner every Friday. He wanted to keep up appearances of the close-knit family. Well, screw that. No, Dad. I will make my own way in life, I replied, and he looked shocked. I don't want your money. And with that, I left. The guards couldn't stop me that time. I've never felt freer. I'll admit that I did have to struggle to get a job and earn a scholarship, but it was all worth it. I've never been happier, and I haven't spoken to my family in 3 whole years. It really feels like heaven. Thank you for watching. What's the worst thing your family has ever done to you?
Okay, there we go. That was okay, I guess. I'm gonna find some. Of course, this is made by Storytime Animated. Oh wait, no, that's my. This is the one, Storytime Animated. I watched this a bit too. I don't know what. I kissed my crush at a party. Okay, yeah, this is kind of normal. No. What do you mean, thank you, Corona? No one likes coronavirus. COVID-19. My name is a bad word. I hate my life. I don't know how to watch. Yeah. What the frick? Wait. Wait, I've seen this before. Wait. I've seen this before. Okay, wait. See this? You see, I can't feel fear. Wait. Did they change the thumbnail? I don't know. I thought I saw that before. I don't know why, but oh my gosh. Okay. Let's just yeah, there it is. Storytime Animated. Yeah, this is the one. They look the same. The freaking thumbnail is the same. What? Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna watch. Your life is over. What do you mean? I don't know what to watch, seriously though. You are just fat. What the freak? How I find out I am not gay. The frick? Okay, let's just react to the Odd Ones Out so because I actually like it.
Grammarly does more than catch errors.
Oh, ad. No way.
With Grammarly, you can find...
I think that everyone at some point in their life should work in a fast food or retail job. Not to improve their work ethic or anything, but so that everyone knows what it's like to have that kind of job. They wouldn't work in fast food their whole lives, maybe just like for 6 months, just so they get a feel for it. So with that, let's talk about the time when I worked in fast food. I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called Subway. Our spokesperson was in the news recently.
Subway?
I don't know if you guys look.
I actually know the real name, but like I don't want to get sued.
Did you hear he got beat up in jail? I kind of want to meet the person who beat up Jared more than Jared. Not in person. We wouldn't meet in person, obviously. But like he would be behind bars, and I would just look at the guy who beat up my spokesperson. How many people get to say that they beat up a fast food icon who is also a pedophile? Only one, and it's that guy. Okay, but seriously guys, working at Subway was probably one of the most easiest jobs out there. I don't know why I'm about to complain about it to you guys. We got free cookies. And you know the comic with the Subways in Hell? I was actually working at Subway when I made that comic. I just think it adds sort of a little bit of value to it. You see, the owners, who were husband and wife, can you believe it, of the Subway I worked at owned 2 stores. One of the Subway stores was in a Walmart on an Indian reservation, because we have those in Arizona, and the other Subway was the Subway I worked at. And since the Walmart store was always busy, the owners would spend 99% of their time at that store. So I didn't really have a boss most of the time. On the off chance the owners did show up, they would just pick up some food and then they would make sure I was making sandwiches the right way. And every time I made a sandwich in front of them, they would always find something wrong with it, without fail. You put on too many olives. Do you know according to the Subway formula, you're only supposed to put on 8 olives on a foot long? 8! One for every other bite. That's just ridiculous. Can you imagine someone just counting out 8 olives? Nobody does that. I usually worked the closing shift, and at the end of the night, we would turn the alarm and we have 60 seconds to get out of the store. But one time I had the opening shift, so I unlocked the door to get in with my key, and the alarm went beep, beep, meaning I had 60 seconds to turn it off. No big deal, right? I've turned the alarm on all the time when I was closing. So I go to the little control panel, and I type in the code, and nothing happens. The beeping is still there, and the clock is still ticking down. So I go, okay, I'm going to press each button very carefully. I'm going to make sure each button makes a beep when I press it. Beep, beep, beep. Nothing still happens. So I go, okay, I'm going to make sure to press each button very carefully. And I start thinking, did they change the passcode without telling me? Well, this is the only passcode I know, so we're just going to try it again. And I press each button very carefully. Beep. Beep, beep, and it goes quiet. And then the alarm goes off. I still had like 20 seconds left. But I guess when you get it wrong 3 times, it automatically assumes that you're a burglar. So while the alarm is going off, I look on the contact sheet for the owner's cell phone number. I step outside, I call him, and he doesn't pick up. So I go back inside, find the number for the other Subway store. They open an hour before we do. Someone picks up with their stupid voice. Oh, thank you for calling Subway. I'm blah, 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 blah. How may I help you? And I go, hey, is Mike there? That's not his real name, guys, don't worry. And they go, just a minute. Yeah, sure, I have all the time in the world. The cops might be on their way, but take your time. So, Mike picks up. Yellow. Hey, Mike, this is James. What's the passcode for the alarm? Who is this? It's James. What's the passcode? What are you doing there, James? Why aren't you answering the question? I have the opening shift. Is the alarm going off? Yeah, no one told me the new code. Yeah, we changed it. It's the last 4 digits of your social security number. Oh, okay, thanks, Mike. I don't know my social security number. So I finally get the alarm off. No one showed up, thankfully. Which I actually don't know if that's a good thing or not, now that I say it out loud. We did have a store manager who would like make the schedule and sometimes tell us, hey, can you guys do a better job at your job? But other than that, she was cool. She watches my videos and so do her little brothers. They're big fans. Shout out to Ivan and Andy. Those are the brothers. So get this, at Subway, you only work with one other person. Just you and them in an empty Subway for 5 hours. I mean, we weren't like empty all the time. Okay? And when you're not making sandwiches, you have other stuff to do, like stocking the chips, or we had stuff to do. But okay, we did watch a lot of Netflix and do homework, so I mean, it was that other person you worked with would make or break your entire shift. It wasn't the annoying customers. I kind of got used to annoying customers. So I worked with a lot of crappy people. And I also worked with a lot of people who I would probably never become friends with, except in a work setting. You see, you gotta understand the type of people who got jobs at Subway. Potheads. Most of them are potheads. And some of them are really cool. I'm just going to go over a couple of the characters that I worked with. There was Tyler. I freaking love this guy. He smoked a lot of weed. He actually taught me what vaping was, and he got me into Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans. Okay, sure.
I actually mentioned him and his girlfriend in my riddles video. I don't know if I ever told him that. And of course, I have to mention Corey. He was cool. We watched How to Get Away with Murder on Netflix, and I've also hung out with him outside of work. What him and Tyler had in common is that they would actually do their job, which you gotta appreciate. Then there was this guy, and get this, who was also named Jared, and he was fat. I know, right? He's like Jared before. He loved Marvel, and that's like the only thing he would talk about.
Wow, Marvel.
Didn't say these things. He doesn't watch my videos.
Fat.
There was Sarah. She was cool. She made me a bread bowl, and her boyfriend.
Okay, I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna read that bad. But I don't know whether it's offensive to call someone fat. I'm sorry if he's watching this. He's probably not.
Jay talked about chakras and third eyes. He was interesting. And also, there's Anthony. He's cool. What's up, Anthony? For the 100,000 sprinkles video, I actually went back to Subway to use their scale because I knew they had one. Wow. And we counted 500 sprinkles again just to be more accurate for the 100,000. And Anthony helped me count instead of working. I mean, at least he got paid minimum wage for it. So 2 more stories before I go. One time, Jared asked me to take out this pile of trash, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put this pile of trash in the dumpster. And as I was taking it out, I saw that there was a chip poster in the pile, and I thought, this is too cool to throw away. I'm gonna keep it. So I took it home with me, and then the next day when I went in, people were saying, oh, where's the chip poster? We can't find the chip poster. We haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm thinking, I have the poster. I decided not to tell anyone that I had the poster. And it's still hanging up in my room. Sorry, boss, if you're finding out about this now. Okay, and then the other story, I was working with a manager and we were just making sandwiches like usual. And I noticed that when we toasted a sandwich, it would burn the paper a little on the edges. That probably shouldn't be happening. So then a customer asks for just bacon toasted. And the boss lady puts some bacon on paper and then puts it in the toaster. And we don't have a setting for just bacon. So then when she opens the toaster, there was a fire on the bacon. So then she starts to whack it with the little metal tray thing, but all she ended up doing was fanning the flames, making the fire bigger. You got this, right? Then I went in the back and I got the fire extinguisher and I actually used it. I single-handedly saved that Subway. Wait, what have I done? Is it okay if the bacon's a little crispy and has nitrogen and carbon dioxide stuff on it? Wow, I didn't even mention a single bad customer experience. Well, I don't want the video to be too long. I should make a part 2. I'm going to make a part 2 and it's just going to be stories about annoying customers that I had to deal with. And if anyone I used to work with is watching and I didn't mention you, it's because I hate you.
It's because I hate you? Okay. It's just... But I think that's going to be that. I think that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, smash that share button, smash that like button, and comment down below what you want to see next. Hopefully like maybe more Bloxburg or something like that. Well, see you all next time. Bye.